Alright, fuckers. Corey Margera here, and I am just so fucking sick and tired of all the praise that this guy gets. He is not a fucking genius. He got lucky during two big boom periods: Hulkamania and the Attitude Era. That's it. What else has this guy done? What else has this guy done that was successful outside of the wrestling business? The Bodybuilding Federation was a flop. The New Generation era, that In Your House era from 1993 up until 1996, early 1996, that was a flop. The Ruthless Aggression era, it wasn't that bad, but it had a lot of fucking shit. Especially towards the end there. The beginning was actually pretty good, but that's only because you had a lot of Attitude Era stars like Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker. Combine that with the talent from WCW and ECW, and I mean, come on. How could it have been that bad? I mean, obviously the early part of the Ruthless Aggression era was actually pretty good because you had a lot of fucking star power and a lot of talent, period. But look at the later part of the Ruthless Aggression era. And look at the PG era that we're in now. Look at the WWE Universe era that we are in currently. Vince McMahon is not a fucking genius. And you people that think he's a genius are fucking stupid. You're stupid as fuck. And that's a fact, not an opinion. How can somebody be considered a genius when he got lucky? The only thing I will give Vince McMahon credit for is the WrestleMania concept. That was a great concept. All right, and the big four pay-per-views: Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, WrestleMania. Well, yeah, those were the shit. Well, the big four anyway, because King of the Ring no longer exists, but that was a good concept too for its time. But I mean, when I hear people saying that Vince McMahon is a genius, and I'm thinking, aside from the Attitude Era and Hulkamania back in the 80s boom, what did this guy contribute to wrestling? He got lucky. Of course it became mainstream during the 80s. I mean, you had Hulk Hogan. I mean, you had Hulkamania. He was a huge name. He was in Rocky 3. He had people. He had Roddy Piper. He had a lot of great talent at the time. And this was also during a point when the business wasn't exposed. Keep in mind that. And also, for people who want to say that Vince McMahon created Hulkamania, no, actually, Vern Gagne and the AWA basically had the concept for Hulkamania before Vince McMahon even created it. And that's a fact. All right, Hulk Hogan was getting over in the AWA before he started working for Vince. So, yeah, shut your mouth. And he was also over because he was in Rocky 3. And from what I heard, he got in trouble for being in Rocky 3 from Vince McMahon's dad, Vince McMahon Sr. And he didn't want him to be in the Rocky movie and blah. I don't know the whole story. I don't really give a shit. But that was stupid because Hogan became even more popular because he was in Rocky 3. And yeah, it wasn't just Hogan by himself. I mean, you had the Macho Man, you had Andre the Giant, you had Roddy Piper, you had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You had some really good guys, that also contributed to that 80s boom. But let's be honest. When people think of the 80s boom, the first person they think of is Hulk Hogan. He was the guy who made it mainstream. And he is not a creation from Vince McMahon. He's actually a creation from the AWA and Vern Gagne. And that's a fact, not an opinion. That is proven, scientifically proven fact. And when I hear people saying, like, oh, Vince McMahon, he's a genius, he knows how to make stars. Okay, so fucking Mantar, Bastion Booger, Red Rooster, Bushwhackers, Men on a Mission, King Mabel, Mae Young giving birth to a hand, that botched Katie Vick storyline. All right, the Spirit Squad. Okay, those are all great ideas for you. As a matter of fact, what about Vince McMahon's vision for Stone Cold Steve Austin? He was the ringmaster under Vince's vision. Rock was Rocky Maivia, a corny, cheesy babyface that's seen as pretty much today, but this was back in the 90s. All right, Lex Luger. You had so many guys. Sid Justice, before he became the badass Psycho Sid, before he became badass, he was Sid Justice, and he was corny as shit. Okay? He was corny as shit. All these goody two-shoes gimmicks, all these boring, we're workers, we have to have jobs, we have to be employed wrestling gimmicks, or we have to dress up like fucking furries. I'm surprised we haven't seen that in wrestling yet. I'm surprised we haven't seen a brony or a furry gimmick in fucking wrestling, for fuck's sakes. I mean, come the fuck on. This guy is not a genius. And you people need to shut the fuck up. He's not a genius. You're fucking retarded. Alright? I mean, come on. Come on. Alright? Mae Young giving birth to a hand. During an era where you were having great TV. And this was after Vince Russo left, too. This was after Vince Russo left, so don't even get started on that shit. As a matter of fact, let's talk about an era that everyone loves so much. The Attitude Era. Now, this is not a creation from Vince McMahon. This is a creation from basically Vince Russo, and it's kind of the aftermath of other factors, too. All right, Vince Russo... Yes, this guy right here, Vince Russo, he is responsible for the change in direction in the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, back in the mid-90s. Not Vince McMahon. And definitely not Jim Cornette. Okay? There was a lot of great ideas that this guy had. Alright? And basically, you also had to weigh in other factors as well. You know, the fact that, ECW was pushing a hardcore, edgy product. I mean, and also keep in mind, this is the late 90s. I mean, this is the late fucking 90s. You had stiff competition from WCW Nitro. Eric Bischoff was putting on a way better product at the time. And on top of that, you also had other shows that were really pushing the envelope around that same period. I mean, look at South Park. South Park was in its fucking prime back in the late 90s. All right? Hell, you had so many shows that were pushing the envelope back then. You had fucking Jerry Springer. You had so many shows that were really pushing the envelope, really getting aggressive. This was during the Clinton years. All right? So to give Vince McMahon credit for the Attitude Era is fucking stupid. This guy is not a genius. And the fact of the matter remains that if this guy right here still wants to keep this guy right here employed, even though he doesn't give a shit about wrestling, hell, he doesn't even give a shit about sports entertainment. All right, forget wrestling. He doesn't even give a shit about sports entertainment. A guy like Kevin Dunn is a cancer to the business. He's a bigger cancer than Russo ever could be. I mean, seriously. And the fact that Vince McMahon wants to keep him around, and the fact, hell, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'll be perfectly fucking honest with you. I think Vince McMahon wants to go out of business. I think he hates the wrestling business. I think that he wants the WWE to die. See, and the reason, and here's my theory, because let's go back to the WWF New Generation era, In Your House era from the mid-90s, from 1993 up until 1996. Let's look back at that era for a quick second. You could tell Vince McMahon was not a genius. And hell, even guys like Shawn Michaels, you really think a guy like Shawn Michaels was pushed because of his in-ring talent? You really think he was pushed because he was one of the best performers of all time? No. Shawn Michaels was pushed because he was fucking Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson behind the scenes, and that's a fact. This has been proven. Even Bret Hart said this. That is the only reason Shawn Michaels became a household name during the New Generation / In Your House era. It wasn't because of his great matches and all that. No, it was because he was fucking Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson behind the scenes. Alright? He was being the heartbreak kid. He was being a sexy boy. He was being a fucking bisexual. And that's why he became the face of the company. And he still didn't draw shit. Because if you look at the facts, Nitro was destroying Raw during that period of time. That's a fact. That is a fact. As much as I'm a huge fan of Shawn Michaels, you can't debate the facts. And personally, I think he never gave a shit about wrestling. Vince McMahon never gave a shit about sports entertainment. This was the only way he can make money. This is the only way he could be a billionaire or a millionaire. Because hell, if you look back at the New Generation era, he was not a billionaire until the Attitude Era. Alright? And that's exactly the reason why I think he does want to go out of business now. Because the fact of the matter is, the WWE now, as we know it, is a publicly traded company. It wasn't a publicly traded company during the New Generation era. Alright? It was under Titan Towers. And the fact of the matter is, I think he's trying to go out of business on purpose because he's made his money. He's made his money. And he's proven time after time again that he's not a genius. And that he does not have a good mind for the wrestling / sports entertainment business. I personally think he's trying to kill the WWE on purpose. That's my theory. Because let's look at the facts here. Alright? The only reason he decided to be competitive with Eric Bischoff, Ted Turner, and WCW was because, one, his ego. Two, he wasn't financially secure to the point where he could go out of business at that point yet. Okay, now that WCW is gone, now that there's no more competition, now that he's made so much money after all these years, he can finally afford to not give a shit at all about the wrestling product, about the WWE product, the sports entertainment product. If he goes out of business today, Vince McMahon is set for life. Same with Triple H, same with Stephanie McMahon. If the WWE goes out of business today, he's set for life. And the same thing can't be said about him during the New Generation era. Because he was not worth as much as he is worth now. Back then. He's worth a lot more money now than he was back in 1995. And that's why I truly think he's trying to go out of business on purpose. I don't know. He's getting up. He's 70. He probably doesn't want to give the company to Stephanie or Triple H. Which, I don't know what... I mean, they would screw up his company anyway. And Triple H does not have a good mind for the wrestling business either. Alright? If NXT is the best he can do, then the wrestling business is fucked. The sports entertainment business is fucked. Forget the wrestling business. The sports entertainment business is fucked and dead. And when you have other alternatives out there, like the UFC... Alright, you have other fucking programs out there, which I'm not particularly a huge fan of, like The Walking Dead and all that other stuff. You know, hell, you even have Monday Night Football, which I'm not even a huge fan of sports. But come on. I mean, you have any idea how many people watch Monday Night Football? I'm not a fan of sports. You know, I might even do a rant on why sports are overrated. Hell, if I get enough support from you guys, if you guys want to see me do a rant on why sports are overrated, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, Vince, I mean, when you have all those other options, why the fuck would we watch your shit, Vince? Why the fuck would people watch your... I mean, I don't even watch TV anymore. I'd rather go on fucking YouTube or watch, DVDs that I have and shit like that, or play video games. I don't watch TV like that anymore because there's nothing that's compelling enough for me. But the fact of the matter is, your show is getting 2.3s. 2.3s. Honestly, and you know what? Due to my theory, the fact that I think Vince McMahon wants the show to die, he refuses to get rid of Kevin Dunn. He refuses to get more serious, focus on good feuds and storylines, build up new talent. He's feeding everybody to John Cena. He's trying to build up Roman Reigns of all fucking people, a guy who is not over at all. That should tell you something. And that should tell you to stop watching his shit. Because it makes no sense to me that fans still fucking complain about the WWE and the PG era and guys like Roman Reigns and Cena and all these other vanilla midgets that have no fucking charisma and no fucking talent, no it factor, and all these other boring schmucks like Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler, that piece of shit, and fucking Adam Rose and all this garbage, all this fucking crap. And the most overrated heel of all time in this modern era, Seth Rollins, who is an overrated piece of fucking shit. Why do you people continue to watch the WWE? Why do you continue to support this fucking product, to buy the network, and to continue putting money in Vince McMahon's pocket? He's giving you shit. He's proving to you that he doesn't care about what you think about his product because you're a bunch of retarded faggots and marks that continue to watch his shit. You people are the dumb fucks. Alright? This is all a rib on you because you're stupid and you want to continue to watch a shitty fucking television program like Raw and SmackDown and stuff that makes WCW Thunder look like must-see TV. That's your fault. That's you as fans' fault. Alright? You guys have this fucking AVGN syndrome that you continue to want to watch shit. You continue to want to watch something that sucks. Alright? It's like you have the fucking nostalgia critic syndrome or the AVGN, angry video game nerd syndrome, where you just want to watch the worst possible shit. It's like bad movie night or something like that. Oh my god, I want to watch something completely terrible and then bitch about it Tuesday morning and blah 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 blah. I mean, that's your fucking problem. If you can't man up and stop watching this shit, then maybe you deserve to be miserable because you're a failure. You probably have no life whatsoever, and the only thing that gets you on is watching wrestling. And not just wrestling, a boring wrestling product. That tells me a lot about you as a human being. It tells me how pathetic you are, and it tells me that how pointless your life is and must be, because you're constantly watching a shitty, flawed, boring show. You either have bad taste, or you're obviously just a failure and a loser. Because why are you still watching a cheesy product? Why are you still talking about it? That says a lot about you as a fucking individual. It proves that you are indeed pathetic. You keep supporting Vince McMahon. You keep buying his shitty fucking product when it sucks. And you know it sucks. You know it's boring. You know it's bland. You know it has stupid, shitty gimmicks. He's doing this on purpose to troll you and to get your money. He's conning you. And you guys are stupid enough to be conned by a shitty product. That just proves how pathetic a lot of you motherfuckers are. The Brad rules. So you people can go fuck yourselves because you're stupid and you keep saying that Vince is a genius. You keep saying wrestling is going to get another boom period. It's going to come back. It's not coming back. There's no signs of it coming back right now. When it starts to get another boom period and when it starts getting really interesting, let me know. Because hell, even if there is another boom period, the fact of the matter is that boom period would probably be a shitty fucking boom period. Because just look at society and the way it is right now, and how people overrate a lot of shit that fucking sucks. So for all we know, the next boom period we get is just a bunch of dumbasses like you motherfuckers who overrate NXT and all these other vanilla midgets out there with no fucking mic skills and no charisma. No it factor whatsoever. So yeah, you can go fuck yourselves and go die of a fucking stroke. I'm done. Later.